So, you've been considering whether you want a PS TV, PS Vita, or PSP for the first time, or trying to relive some old memories. If you've made up your mind to import one from the Japanese market and you don't intend on traveling to Japan anytime soon, you probably will open up eBay or Amazon Japan to source one. And that's where I want to stop you. What if I told you there was a better way to source them with local pricing that is in line with Japan's economy? Depending on how much these devices are in your country and the strength of your currency, you may be able to pay much less buying from local Japanese marketplaces compared to your market. But before I continue, I want to clarify a few important points. I recommend you search up specifically for your country and their laws around importing, have a clear idea of what you bought and how much you paid for it. This is for your customs declaration and you may be required to fill out a form. Some countries have a duty-free allowance when importing products for personal use, but on other occasions, VAT and GST may be added on your items you import regardless of whether you want to sell or use it yourself. Quantity is another thing you would need to check, as exceeding these limits may lead to the item being classified as commercial import and not for personal use. I would highly recommend you do further research specific to your country and not just take my word for it. It would be awful if you were to import something at a sweet price only to have it taken away in customs or slapped with a huge fee in order to release the item. With that out of the way, let's get started. We're going to require 3 things before we continue: a Japanese proxy service, a Japanese marketplace, and a payment method, preferably debit or credit card. Step 1 is the most important, as 2 and 3 rely on step 1. If you're wondering what a proxy service is, these are companies set up in Japan who will take care of purchasing an item on your behalf, storing it, and shipping it to you. Most of the time they have a flat service fee, which means regardless if you buy a single PSP game or a bundle of a PS3 with several accessories and games, they will still charge you the same amount for their service. In my case, I'm using Zenmarket, so it's 500 yen per listing, which is roughly $3 US. I'm not sponsored by Zenmarket, and they do have their ups and downs similar to many other proxies. Which leads me on to our final important point. Check if the proxy you chose supports shipping to your country, and if there is a specific product blacklisted. In my case, Zenmarket just cannot ship any Nintendo Switches to my region as it isn't in their supported list, but another proxy, for example, would be perfectly fine with shipping it out to me. So browse around and research on different proxies before settling on one. Alright, now that we got the most important information clarified, finding a Japanese marketplace will be a breeze. Some of these proxies will show you sites they support, which will point you in the right direction, or they support browsing those marketplaces directly within their site, which can also translate the description from Japanese to your preferred language. Personally, I recommend zenmarket.jp, as they natively support browsing in English and they convert the prices based on your browser's region. Just make sure you select shipping to be paid by the seller, so you can filter out any hidden fees from the purchase. This is the shipping fee within Japan. Don't mistake this as the price to be shipped out of Japan. Once you find something you like, copy the link and drop it in the appropriate section of your proxy if it has one. If your proxy works differently, follow their included instructions. Alright, so by now you should have something you'd want in a cart like me. Adding funds to your account is simple enough, just make sure you include the service cost and the amount you're adding as well. And with the funds added to your account, all that's left is the price paid. Sweet, now give it a few minutes and an agent should purchase your item. But to be honest, I can't tell if it's their system that's automated or if there's a person physically buying stuff. But if you want to increase your chances of getting something urgently, make sure you buy the products during the working hours and days of the proxy you're using. So keep Japan's time zone close by when browsing. You should be notified when your items arrive, and you'll be given an option of which shipping you'd like once your items are weighed and packed. The rest is the same as everything else you've bought online. Just put in your details and address, best contact details, etc, etc. Now, I get it. You may be thinking, why should you go through all this if you can just buy it on eBay? Well, Japanese sellers on eBay are selling to an international market who are willing to pay the higher prices, as it is more in line with what they're used to. But to the Japanese market, it would be absolutely overpriced and absurd. And that's just business, folks. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. But when you have the option to source it yourself and have a significant amount of money saved whilst getting the full exposure to the Japanese market, why not? If you're in the market for a PS Vita, then you're well aware of the prices on Amazon and eBay. So let's see what we can find on Mercari. If you're considering to buy games for the Vita, I'd hold you right there. Some games have language options, but most of the time that option may be lacking, especially if the games you're looking at are exclusive to the Japanese and Asian markets. So just buy at your own risk and be aware that maybe you'll get something that wouldn't be in English at all. For some games, that wouldn't really matter. I know Minecraft definitely has language option if you update it to the latest version that, well, the final version the Vita got. And Need for Speed, I don't think you would even need to understand what is happening to play the game. But some other games like Dead or Alive, they do offer a language option if you want it in English or Japanese. Once again, it's one of those games where it really doesn't matter if you can read what's happening or not. Metal Gear, I haven't looked too deeply into it. As of right now, from the quick look I've made, I haven't found a language option, but hopefully there is one because I really want to play the game. If not, hey, it is what it is. I'll just have to figure out how to play the game in Japanese. Probably gonna miss out on the story, but I'm sure it's gonna be a fun game. Now, I hope this video was very helpful for everyone because I have seen some comments in the previous video wondering where's the best way to get the PS Vita, and just generally some forums online where people wonder what's the best way to go forward if they want to get a PS Vita, because I get it, they're up there in price and I have paid the premium price for some of them, which now that I've discovered Mercari, I'm thinking, God, why did I even do this? It's like, I paid a stupid amount of money where I could have gotten the same thing just as good or even better of a condition for significantly less. And honestly, more options, like the silver PS Vita. Man, that's beautiful in my opinion. But hey, I got some experience from my mistakes. I hope you wouldn't have to make the same mistake to learn that there is a better way to source them. At least, hopefully this works out for most of you. And yeah, take it easy everyone, and thank you for your time and watching this video.